The first scripture reading this morning is from Genesis chapter 1, verses 1 through 5, 6 days of creation and the Sabbath. In the beginning, when God created the heavens and the earth was a formless void, and darkness covered the face of the deep, while a wind from God swept over the face of the waters. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw that the light was good, and God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. Our second reading is from Psalm, God's eternity and human frailty. A prayer of Moses, the man of God. Lord, you have been our dwelling place in all generations. Before the mountains were brought forth, or ever you had formed the earth and the world, from everlasting to everlasting, you are God. You turn us back to dust and say, "Turn back, mortals, for 1,000 years in your sight are like yesterday when it is past, or like a watch in the night."
Pray with me. Lord, I pray that you would speak through me or in spite of me. Grant that the words of my mouth and the meditations of each of our hearts will indeed find acceptance in your sight. God, you are our strength and our Redeemer. It's in the name of Christ that we pray. Amen. Today we're starting a new sermon series called I Believe, and it's a vocabulary for faith is the subtitle. We're working through the different phrases of the Apostles' Creed. The Apostles' Creed is a summary of the basic beliefs of the Christian faith. Some of you may have grown up reciting this creed or others on a weekly basis, or at least you have some familiarity with it, or some of you, this may be the very first time after the sermon today that you have recited the creed, and we'll be reciting it together throughout this series as an affirmation of our common faith. I think it's important for us to know the creeds and to understand them because they're formed through Scripture. And it's Scripture that forms the creeds together, and they, for centuries now, Christians all around the world have affirmed these very simple tenets as the foundational beliefs. The Apostles' Creed in particular was first found in written form around 390 AD. Now, why is that important to throw a date in? The closer we get to Jesus, the more authentic and authoritative we find something to be. Like the books of the New Testament, there are a lot of books out there that were not included in the canon of Scripture because they were found to be outside of an authentic time period. 390 AD, that's still pretty close when you're talking historical times. If that doesn't seem close enough for you, the Apostles' Creed is based on a shorter, older creed called the Old Roman Symbol. And it was found in written form maybe as early as 180 AD. So we're getting really close to the time of the apostles there. Now, does the creed cover every single doctrinal tenet of the church? Absolutely not. And you can walk into any denominational or non-denominational church and find that there are things that we disagree with one another about. But when we look just simply at the tenets of the creeds, we'll find that we have more in common than we don't. That there is more that holds us together in the Christian faith than those things that would divide us. What we have here is a very early statement of the faith of the apostles and of the early church. In the wholeness of Christianity, these creeds proclaim the basis of our belief. So what I hope to accomplish through this series is to give you a refresher on the creed of what we believe and why, what unites us as Christians, and also provide you with knowledge and explaining our beliefs to others. And the New Testament says we always have to be ready to give an answer for the hope that we have. And I think that is especially true now. That there are people who want to know why we do this, why we follow Jesus, why we go to church, why we live our lives differently, and we have to be prepared to give an answer for that. In a world that nitpicks everything, we have to be willing and ready to give an answer. So, the first phrase in the creed is, I believe. In Latin, it's credo. Let's talk about beliefs for a minute. And what do we mean when we say the phrase, I believe? What are the sources of belief? What are the reasons for belief? Saying that we believe something can have a lot of different layers of meaning, from the silly to the very serious. For example, I believe that in 2020, the Cubs and White Sox will play each other in the World Series. That's a belief about hope, and it may or may not come to pass. Belief also expresses opinions about things that probably aren't that important in the end. For example, I believe that the music of Elvis Presley far surpasses that of the Beatles. Now, some of you will argue with me about that, but I doubt that either of us would be willing to die over that conviction. Ford, Chevy, same kind of thing. Nobody's willing to die over that. But then there are beliefs that we hold that are much more important. You might believe that small government is important, or you might believe that the government has to be very involved to ensure equality and prosperity for all people. Deeply held beliefs can shape us for good or for bad. It's deeply held beliefs that formed both the missionaries of charity founded by Mother Teresa and the Ku Klux Klan. What we believe and why matters. And from the earliest times of the Christian faith, the church has attempted to summarize these essential beliefs. What we believe and why is important. What we believe about God, about our faith, is important because what we believe affects our understanding of what it means to be human, of what it means to be in relationship with other people. Our belief, our faith affects our convictions about politics, or our goals or ambitions in life, our hopes and our dreams. What we believe and why is important. When I started following Jesus and came to first learn of the creeds, I made the decision to follow these basic tenets of the creed. As I've grown in my understanding of these basic elements, I've been given the framework for what it means to be a follower of Jesus. And that's made all the difference. So here's the first statement that we're approaching in this creed, the very first one. I believe in God, the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth. I believe in God. This is where we hit the foundation that informs everything else. Everything else that we believe is informed by this first statement. I believe in God. It's one of the fundamental questions of life. Is there a God? Is there a God? How we answer this question determines how we begin to answer other questions, like, what's the meaning and purpose of life? Christians answer this question is there a God, by looking at the dramatic opening words of the Bible that were just read for us this morning. And you've likely heard them before, and you know them. In the beginning, God created. That's why the creed begins the way that it does. It's the foundational piece. But when we say that we believe in God, to answer that question, is there a God, what do we mean by God? We're not talking about an old guy with a long beard sitting on a throne that's the puppet master of the entire universe. That's not what we're talking about. What we're fundamentally talking about is a force that is intelligent, creative, governs the laws of the universe, a being that is beyond our comprehension, who has no beginning, who has no end. Scripture says in Him, all things have their beginning, and there is nothing in this world that did not have its beginning with God. In Exodus chapter 3, Moses is confronted by a burning bush. And he's told that he's supposed to go to Pharaoh and tell him to let the Israelite people go, let my people go. And this is really important because it's in the middle of a polytheistic culture where there are many different gods who are being worshipped. And Moses rightly asked the question of the bush, if they ask me who sent me, what am I supposed to say? What's your name? And it says this in Exodus chapter 3. I am who I am. Say to the Israelites, I am has sent me to you. On the surface, it doesn't seem terribly helpful. How do you say that to somebody? I am told me to come and do all this stuff. The phrase I am is known as the divine name of God. In Hebrew, it's translated Yahweh, or sometimes Jehovah. What kind of name is I am? I think this is even meant to point us to the fact that God is being itself. That God is the source of all that exists. I am who I am. This is an important claim of the Judeo-Christian faith. God is the source of everything. And when it comes to talking about how the universe came into being, those who do not believe in the existence of God actually start at the same point as those of us who believe. If you talk to scientists who don't believe in the existence of God, they still agree with this simple tenet, that the universe was created ex nihilo, meaning out of nothing. That something did not exist, and then suddenly it did. Now the answer that atheists will give for that is that the universe came to be when random particles floating in space suddenly became electrically charged and gave birth to the universe. That leaves me some questions. Where did the particles that are randomly floating in space come from? What's the source of the electrical charge? As Christians, we don't discount science. We don't have to check our brains at the door to follow Jesus because we believe that science points us to God. We simply believe that God is the source of that electric charge. And even those who ardently defend atheism have to admit the improbability that the universe came to exist randomly. Richard Dawkins once cited another atheist astronomer, Fred Hoyle, and he wrote that the probability of life originating on planet Earth randomly was roughly the same as a hurricane blowing through a junkyard and leaving behind it a newly assembled Boeing 747. How random do you think that is? How unlikely do you find that to happen? Here's maybe a simpler way to look at it. We know how a cake is made. In my world, that means I go to the store and I buy a cake mix, and I have other ingredients at home. And so cake mix, eggs, oil, icing. So let's take all those ingredients, go unpack anything, and throw them all in a bowl. How long am I going to have to wait for those things to suddenly organize themselves and become a cake? We're going to be waiting a while, folks. Hope you're not hungry. It takes thoughtfulness. It takes work to mix everything together. It takes heat to bake the cake. It takes the creativity of my wife, not me, to ice the cake and make it look pretty, because I can't do that. Take the human body. We know that our cells are fundamentally made up of DNA. DNA is a code of letters representing 4 chemicals. Not one person on this planet has the exact same DNA. DNA instructs our cells how to act, and it's responsible for what makes you, you. So within this tiny space of every cell in our body, there's a code that's 3 billion letters long. That's a lot. Let's put that in perspective. That means if you wanted to read the entire genetic code that makes you, you would need to read at a rate of 3 letters per second, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for 31 years. You can't tell me that happens randomly. Dr. Anthony Flew was a leading voice at one time in atheism, and he always cited all these scientific things as being a reason that there could not be a God. But as the human genome was being mapped, Perry Marshall, who was also an atheist at the time, wrote, "There has never existed a computer program that wasn't designed. Whether it's a code or a program or a message given through language, there's always an intelligent mind behind it." Hearing that, Dr. Flew started to question his assumptions, and as he looked at this 3 billion letter code that exists in our cells, he wrote, who wrote this script? Who placed this working code inside the cell? It didn't happen by chance, so it leads us to answer the question, is there a God? With yes. There is a super intelligence behind this. When it comes to creation, I can buy all the scientific explanation. I can accept that DNA is the building block of life. I can accept the fact, the crazy weird fact that the lens of your eye is upside down. Did you know that? And in the split second it takes for the image to be broadcast to your brain, it flips the right way. That's incredible stuff. That I can accept the fact that your brain is the world's greatest supercomputer. That if we were to play a game of catch right now, and the time it takes for me to throw the ball to you, your brain calculates the distance, the arc, where to put the glove, when to close it. Even if you hate math like I do. You've got a great calculator in your head. But I have to ask the question when I accept all of those scientific realities, who designed the process? I believe it all points to something more. When I hear scientific claims, I can't help but think about the force, the influence, the presence, and the power of God. And is it possible as we talk about these scientific realities that we're in some way talking about God without even realizing it? We can't see these things that are being described, like DNA. Yet without them, the universe couldn't exist. But Christianity goes a step further. We don't stop with defining God as a force from which all things derive their existence. We believe that God is personal. And above all, relational. God is being itself. But God also thinks, reasons, creates, enjoys, is purposeful, so that the intelligence that's reflected in human beings is a reflection of the intelligence and personhood of God. God knows and feels and loves and wills and acts and creates. And the Apostles' Creed, drawing from Jesus' primary way of addressing God, speaks of God as Father, which is a really personal term. God is the force and the power behind everything. And God is not merely an impersonal force, but God is the very definition of personhood. Before the Creed talks about God's power, God's creation, God is first and foremost Father. Yes, we're dealing with the God of the universe, the Holy Other, but we're first and foremost dealing with a Father. A Father who not like our earthly fathers, who while awesome and fantastic, still have their flaws. But one who demonstrates the perfection of fatherhood, love and tenderness and nurture and protection. But then the Creed goes on to say that he's the Father Almighty, a Father who's loving, tender, nurturing, protecting, but also powerful, full of authority and full of might. Calling God Father and Almighty gives us two words that complement each other in a really beautiful way. God is all-powerful, but he uses his power in a way that shows his love and compassion for us. Listen again to the beginning words of Psalm 90 that we read. Lord, you have been our dwelling place in all generations. Before the mountains were brought forth, or ever you had formed the earth and the world, from everlasting to everlasting you are God. This is an image of God as Father that I really resonate with. An everlasting Father who has no beginning, who has no end. The one who is the Lord and Master of the whole universe, but yet still knows us. Still loves us. More than love, he's been our dwelling place. A place of rescue and rest. That's power. That's love. That's protection. The story of the prodigal son, which should probably be called the story of the prodigal father, because the word prodigal really means to give extravagantly or wastefully, and it's the father who does that in the story. We see God extravagantly lavishing forgiveness and love on those who are lost in order that they might be restored to their place in his family. Our God, the God that we say we believe in, the Father, the Almighty, is one who reaches out and calls us into relationship with himself. A Father who will never let us down, who will always be with us in the struggle. In the Summer Olympics of 1992, there was a British runner named Derek Redmond. He was the favorite for the gold medal in the 400-meter sprint. He spent his entire life training for that moment. And the starter's gun went off, the athletes came bounding out of their blocks, and halfway through the race, Derek was leading. Then it happened. His hamstring collapsed. In agony, he fell to the track, and he knew, you could see it on his face, there was no way that he was going to finish this race. But he was still going to try. He waved off the medical staff, he came to race, and he was going to finish. And as he limped along, agony all over his face, an older man pushed through the crowd and bounded onto the track. And he came beside Derek and placed his arms around him, and the man was Derek's father, Jim. The conversation went like this: "You don't have to do this, son." "Yes, I do." "Then let's finish together." Arm in arm, Jim continued to help his son down the track. Derek buried his face in his dad's shoulders to hide his tears, to hide the pain that was on his face, to hide his embarrassment and shame. His father's strong shoulders carried him physically and emotionally. The crowd began to roar as Jim Redmond helped his son limp across the finish line. It became the defining moment of the 92 Olympics. That's the type of God that we believe in when we say, "I believe in God, the Father Almighty." A Father who will carry us when we fall. Creed goes on to confess that God, who is both Father and Almighty, is also the creator of the heavens and the earth. We're reminded that it's not just some pushover guy in the sky, but we're being invited into a relationship with the creator of the entire universe. The one who said, "Let there be," and there was, is the same one that calls us by name. Go back to Genesis 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was a formless void, and darkness covered the face of the deep, while a wind from God swept over the face of the waters. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw that the light was good, and God separated the light from the darkness, and God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. There was evening, there was morning, the first day. This is the God who said, "Let there be," and there was. God creates everything not because he has to, but because he desires relationship. He desires love. He creates simply by speaking into being. That's power. The universe itself is God's handiwork. Its powerful forces, its logic, its patterns, its beauty are all evidence of the Creator, and they reflect His glory. I love the way the psalmist says it in Psalm 19. The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of His hands. Day after day they pour forth speech. Night after night they reveal knowledge. They have no speech. They use no word. No sound is heard from them. Yet their voice goes out into all the earth. Their words to the ends of the world. That the creation itself can't say anything. But we still see God's fingerprints all over it. Think of the most beautiful sunset you've ever seen. And you can rationalize it all you want. We know scientifically that the sunset is caused by molecules and particles of moisture in the atmosphere changing the direction of light rays. And the scattering creates colorful sunsets. And I can grasp that on a cerebral level and accept why that is. But the fact that we were created in the image of God, that's what allows us to find beauty in it, to want to see this thing. The heavens, the psalmist says, declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of His hands. God's creation points to His power, but also to His creativity and His love. We affirm that God is real, that He is personal and relational as Father and Creator. I choose to believe in God because I am capable of thinking and reasoning and loving and perceiving. And that makes me believe that my existence and yours point to something greater than just me and you, something greater than just randomness. But I also believe because of hundreds of moments in prayer, scripture reading, reflection, where I have felt someone offering comfort and assurance, where I felt an unseen hand on my shoulder offering guidance and grace. I believe because I've experienced too many coincidences in my life to believe that they're all simply coincidences. I believe because my heart cries out to give thanks to the one who ultimately has given life to us as a gift. I believe because when I'm seeking to do the things that Scripture calls me to do, that's when I feel most alive. I believe in God, and in that faith I find purpose and meaning and grace and joy and hope. And we need that in our world. You flip on the news and they tell us that's gone, that there is no joy. There is no hope. But those of us who follow God, the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth, in that faith we find purpose, meaning, and grace, and joy, and hope. I believe in God, the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth. And that changes everything. That changes how I approach everything else in life. That changes how I answer the question to everything else I believe. We start with this foundational confession. I believe in God, Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth. Each week during this sermon series, we're going to conclude the sermon by affirming our faith together by reading the Apostles' Creed. Now, some of you, this gives you warm and fuzzies or flashbacks, either way, because you did it a lot growing up. Some of you, this may be the first time you've recited the creeds. We're not reading words on a screen. We are declaring with the voices of the church throughout the ages, this we believe. This is the vocabulary of our faith, formed by Scripture. This we believe. Let's confess our faith together.